Tetap bisa loh share screen. Alah, kayak apa ya? Iya, recordnya udah jalan, cuma aku mau. Oke, di situ kelihatan nggak? Ya udah biarin kayak gitu aja. Aku nggak ngelihat ke bukunya. Itu kan share screen, aku nggak bisa share screenin. Kita Zoom yang nggak berbayar nih, nggak ada CO-nya. Kayak apa ya? Tapi tadi mana bisa loh aku sama kawan-kawan. Nggak bisa dibuka, harus download aplikasi lagi. Ya udah di situ aja lah. Udah record belum? Udah kan? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. I'm Taufik Solihin and I'm from A class. So from this learner to interview about the book, and I have chosen about part 1. The book is talk essential aspects of English for specific purposes. From the chapter 1, overview of English for specific purposes. From this chapter aims to provide a foundation in the major issues in English for specific purposes, or ESP, which underpin current thinking in ESP curriculum and course design. ESP theories is informed by teaching and learning context with curriculum and course design at its core. What is ESP? ESP may be considered as an approach to course designs and teaching that targets a group of learners who have a common goal or purpose in learning English. And the chapter 2, Dudley Evans and H. John 1988, refer to the absolute and variable characteristic of ESP. The absolute characteristics of ESP course are: 1, designed to meet the needs of the learner. 2, make use of the methodology and activities of the disciplines it serves. And the 3rd, centered on the language, skills, and genders approaches to these disciplines. ESP is sometimes contrasted with to English for General Purposes, or EGP. It is somewhat controversial with Dudley Evans and S.T. Jones, 1988, marking a rather talk check reference to EGP as if not English for ambiguous purposes. Characteristic of English course. What types of English course are you familiar with? Which of the characteristic list? Characteristic of ESP is usually classified into two main branches: English for academic purposes, EAP, and English for occurs potential purposes, EOP. Within this two main division, there are many subdivisions and overlaps based on the setting, level of experience, and file of ESP. And history of ESP. ESP is a relatively recent branch of English language teaching, or ELT. There was a need to communicate on a global scale to facilitate and participate in this economic surge. The earliest ESP was in the area of science and technology. The approach used for core design was developed register analysis. It was sentence based on focus on the grammar and vocabulary of scientific texts. The next, the role of English. It is often referred to as English as a lingua franca or ELV, as it is frequently used a means of communication between non-native speakers of English. English is the language of communication of business, of profession, and of academy. In the early days of ESP, the model of English promoted was that of native English-speaking countries. So how do you think ELV influenced the following types of ESP? One, English for business purposes. Second, English for academic purposes. The third, English for professional purposes. Types of ESP, there are many different terms for types of ESP, although in reality, many of these overlap. This English for science and technology or EST course could be a pre-experience course at university for engineering students, so called E-class and EAP course. English for science and technology or EST. This branch of ESP was the first area of ESP to develop. Generally, the focus of EST is on the technical and semi-technical vocabulary of scientific texts, the commonly found grammatical structure in them and their genders. For example, a laboratory report in EST perhaps more than many other areas of ESP. There is often a mismatch between the ESP teacher, disciplinary knowledge and experience. And there is English for academic purposes or EAP. English for academic purposes focus say on students' communicative needs at university. This is a very large area that has received a great deal of research interest. And there is business English. English for business purposes or EBP is often referred today as business English or BE. English is the global language of business communication and transaction, and as indicated above, the concept of BELF, BELF is a very important in ESP research. The use of English in this business world is so prevalent today that it has become a necessary tool for international business professionals. And English for exceptional purposes covers a broad range of types of other terms are English for vocation purposes or EAV and English for professional purposes EPP. EOP is likely to be very specific and quite narrow in focus. English for work and the workplace. E4W and E4WP. Sees the workplace as being the curriculum and classroom. Robert 20 and 05. English for medical purposes, and there is English for legal purposes and English for socio-cultural purposes. So summary, there is summary of this chapter. From the chapter 1, chapter serves as an introduction to the history and classification of ESP. It has present a brief descriptive on of the different areas of ESP defined by student purposes, such as an English for academic purposes, business English, English for exceptional purposes, and English for vocational purposes. Each of the types of ESP referred to in this chapter will be investigated in more depth in part 2 and following by example, of course, in part 3. I think that's all of my review about this book, especially for chapter 1 for ESP English specific for purposes that I have told you. I think that's all. I'm Taufik Solihin. Bila saya say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Direkod di situ. Sudah, Hasan?